Hey everybody, this is Joe Price. So in this video, I'll be showcasing what I consider to be the best possible truffle worm farm that you can build in the game today. This particular farm generates around 390 truffle worms per hour, so that's a huge raid. And if you're wondering why would we ever need so many truffle worms, well, they sell for 10 gold a piece, so you can generate a huge amount of cash per hour. And on top of that, on PC, bosses can now drop developer armor sets. They're relatively rare, so therefore having a way to farm a particular boss over and over in quick succession allows for much easier developer gear farming. So the truffle worm approach and Duke Fishron farming is the absolute best for getting all of the developer sets relatively quickly. Alright, so let's go check out this farm. This is entry C1 in the teleporter hub. Let's go take a look. Alright, so here we are. So I'm just going to equip the bug net and just hold down the left mouse button. I'm just going to wait for the truffle worms to come to my position. As you can see, they're being hoiked initially horizontally away from the spawn surface and then vertically up to my position where I just capture them automatically. Yeah, so this particular farm, the way that it operates, just based on a couple of innovative features here. So let me just engage free cam mode, and I'll switch over to the spawn surface so you can see the full mechanism. So the spawn surface itself is positioned 62 to 84 tiles to the left of the player's position. This is the spawn range in Terraria. To the sides, to the left and to the right. On the right side of the player, I have a lava surface that blocks all spawns there. So the only spawns that can possibly happen are those on the spawn surface to the immediate or to the left here. So these two mushroom grass surfaces, they alternate. So when one is in a deactuated state, the other one is actuated into the background. And the bottom mushroom grass surface has been hammered into hoik teeth. And the idea behind that is any truffle worms that spawn on either of the two surfaces will actually drop into the hoik teeth, and the hoik teeth will propel those truffle worms ultimately to my position to be captured. Having the worms drop like that into the hoik teeth ends up protecting them against some of the mobs. So on the PC version, hostile mobs can now kill truffle worms, so it is essential to protect them. The other part of this mechanism is the almost instant teleportation away of the vast majority of hostile mobs. Okay, that is through the two dummy ghosts that pass through this hoik track right below the spawn surface, and they continuously activate pressure plates along the way, and those pressure plates are hooked up to teleporters that are just below the two mushroom grass spawn surfaces. So the idea is to keep teleporting away all of these mobs that spawn, or at least the majority of the mobs that spawn, and the destination teleporter is really far away. It's, on my world, around 900 tiles away, and when they get teleported away like that, they instantly despawn, which means that I keep the mob count really low, and I generate a very high turnover rate in this farm. That's how we can generate so many truffle worms per hour. Now, obviously, you're seeing some fungi bulbs here. They are not able to teleport away, but that's why we have a couple of flamethrowers consisting of 4 flame traps that are actuated to the background, and we have a portion where we have spiky balls that kill off some of the fungi bulbs that stretch out closer towards the player's position. So, relatively straightforward mechanism. This whole thing takes about 30 minutes to build. Well worth the time invested given the amount of gold that you can generate per hour. Now, this particular setup generates around 39 platinum per hour. Because we're not collecting any of the drops from the fungi mobs that are killed, and we're just despawning the rest of the mobs. But there's another variant that we can use of this farm that will send the mobs to the kill chamber that's directly above me. Now, currently, that kill chamber above is not being used, but in the next segment, I'll show you how you can rewire things a little bit so that you can actually increase the gold farming rate. Now let me just stop swinging the net and bring up the wiring itself. So you can see the green wires here connected to the pressure plates in the hoik track where the dummies are passing through. They are connected to all of the teleporters, and through the green wire that's exiting on the left here, that's the wire that leads to the destination teleporter 900 tiles away. Now, when you're hooking up multiple teleporters together with the same wire, the destination teleporter is always the most distant teleporter by wire length. Secondly, we need to have pressure plates activated that are closest to a particular teleporter from which mobs are going to be teleporting away. That's why we need this kind of mechanism to ensure that whatever spawns here gets teleported out. Yeah, so that's basically the wiring, and I'll provide the schematics to this farm in the description box, so that way if you want to build one for yourself, well, you could just follow the schematics. Like I said, this is pretty straightforward. It takes about 30 minutes to put together. The world download will be made available as well. Link will be in the description box, so that way if you want to try it out for yourself, you're welcome to do so before building one on your own world. Alright guys, so let's check out the next segment, and in the next segment we'll showcase sending the mobs to the kill chamber directly above me, how that works, and that particular variant of the farm generates about 50 platinum per hour. Alright guys, so up next, the second version of the farm. Okay, so for the second version of the farm, we're going to need some minions. So I'll be using the ravens, and I'll be equipping some strong summoner gear. Alright, so let's go check out the farm now. Alright, so now the destination teleporter is directly above me, and anything that spawns in the mob region, or mob spawn region, is going to be hoiked into the kill chamber here. So I'm just going to summon a whole bunch of ravens into that small space. They'll be killing things off pretty quickly, and I'll go back to equipping the net and swinging the nets automatically. So the rate of truffle worm capture remains around the same, except now we're going to be collecting a lot of the money from the mobs that we're going to be killing directly above the player. So the previous version of the truffle worm farm generates around 39 truffle worms per hour. This particular version generates around 50 platinum per hour. And it seems that this is the highest rate that you can currently achieve on PC, at least, as far as gold farming away from keyboard is concerned. You can still farm at a higher rate if you farm Pumpkin Moon, but that's not continuous like this farm is. Yeah, so in terms of the spawn surface, just going to engage free cam mode again. It's the exact same thing as we had before. It's just the destination teleporter that is different here. So all I basically did, if I bring up the wiring here, is I severed the wire leading to that destination teleporter 900 tiles away, and instead, through this green wire connected to all the teleporters in the spawn surface, I connected it to the teleporter in this kill chamber, and it passes through the mimic statue as well. The reason why the mimic statue is there is because of the skeleton merchant. If the skeleton merchant ends up spawning on the spawn surface, it'll get teleported to the kill chamber directly above me, and it'll prevent any other hostile mobs from spawning. Now, minions do not target the skeleton merchant. However, if you have some sort of mob statue that's generating mobs, well, the minions will target those mobs, and they'll inadvertently end up hitting the skeleton merchant as well. So this way, the skeleton merchant will die relatively quickly. It's very important to be able to take care of that merchant. Otherwise, that merchant will be a total killer of the spawn rates and collection of any money. Yeah, so that's basically how it works. And again, I'll provide schematics to this alternate version. If you build one of these for yourself, you can actually alternate between the two versions just by changing the wiring ever so slightly. Alright, so that's the farm in action. So up next, let me show you how you can farm Duke Fishron using all of these truffle worms, so that way we can pick up a lot of the developer gear in a short period of time. So the next segment, I'll show you some fights against Duke Fishron. Okay, so now we're going to put the truffle worms to good use. We're going to fight Duke Fishron multiple times, and I'll be using the Ranger equipped with post-Moonlord gear. The Ranger is definitely the strongest class post-Moonlord. People often think the Mage is, but the Mage needs some micromanagement, and without that micromanagement, the Ranger just does more single-target DPS. So in any case, we're going to need some crystal bullets to generate very high DPS. So I have a little crystal shard farm already set up. This is something you can set up in very early hard mode. And once you set it up, you'll have more than enough crystal bullets to last you for a very long time. I've got a really fancy setup here, automatic delivery of crystal shards to the player. We've got a little crafting station here. I'll open things up. There's some musket balls already in the chest, and this will allow me to craft some crystal bullets. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Alright, so let's head over to the arena. Now let's do some fighting. No, I like a bit of a challenge, so we're not going to resort to any invulnerability machines or anything like that. And we're going to fish Fishron out of this pool of water by the ocean biome. You need 1,000 tiles or more to summon Fishron. And then I'll immediately move into the arena outside of the ocean biome, so that'll enrage Fishron. But it won't matter, the gear is so strong that we'll be able to take down Fishron relatively quickly. And I like to use stealth here. Stealth doesn't really affect horizontal movement. It affects the initial startup speed, but it doesn't affect the horizontal acceleration, and doesn't affect any vertical speed or acceleration either. Let me just summon the dragon to get rid of some of these trash mobs. Alright, so let's drink some potions and let's begin some of these fights. Yeah, that was super fast. Let's go again. He's particularly vulnerable when he pauses to transition from his first form to his second form. Yeah, one nice thing about the Ranger is that you can reach 100% critical hit rate and generate an obscene amount of damage. Let's farm him a few more times and we'll see if we got some developer sets. Alright, once more, and we'll check out what we got from the treasure bags. Alright, so got 6 of them. Let's open them up. Well, we got one developer set. Alright, so yeah, not too bad. One developer armor set, and in order to get them all, we would have to farm fish rod a pretty large number of times. But again, that's why this truffle worm farm works so well, because we can farm fish rod at a fairly high rate. Most of the time when people are asked what are the best ways of farming developer sets, they'll say farming golem. And that's because they can farm golem while they're farming the other mobs in the temple for the cells. But the power cells, they don't drop that often. You have to wait a little bit before you can accumulate enough of them. So the truffle worm approach is, I think, a lot better for farming developer gear. And you don't have to enrage fish run or anything like that. You'll have a much easier fight if you fight him in the ocean biome. On top of that, you can take advantage of the slime saddle mounts bouncing on top of a couple of slime statues. Get rid of the dragon here. So I'll just show the fight here while I'm invulnerable. Yeah, so if you want to make the fight unfair, then yeah, just make yourself invulnerable and kill fish run off that way. Alright, so there you have it. So like I said, feel free to download this world if you want to check out the truffle worm farm for yourself, and if you want to do some fish run farming in this arena. Alright guys, so we'll see you in the next video.